That's you, Barb. This is your show, not mine.
Oh, are we like on mine?
No, it's mine, but it's your show.
So like this is what happens, all of you who like don't do a lot of these. Like Brian and I tried twice to go live. I was so excited to show you my new fancy green screen. And of course, then we had some technical difficulty. But we're still coming to you, and our discussion today is, what do you do when life happens? And I want to just share with all of you, and if you're coming to New Beginnings, I'm super excited to share this stuff with you. It's the 3 principles. It's mind, thought, and consciousness. And you know, I think so often when we experience thoughts or even feelings that aren't like so appetizing, we want to run for them, or we want to like hurry up and stop crying, or don't be mad, or don't be angry. And that's not really what's human. So, you know, I just invite all of you, when whatever you're experiencing, whatever you're feeling, like do that, be all in, and then just like be done. You know, like ding. Like we talk about in the boot camp, your feelings are like clothes. Like your thinking is like clothes. You can change it. Mm-hmm. You can change it anytime. And that's where we get our feelings from, is our thinking. So at any rate, actually Demi described it that your thinking is like a fart and your feelings are the odor of a fart. They go kind of hand in hand. And if you can just kind of think of it that way, good, like happy thinking and not so happy thinking in that way. So what do you do, Dr. Brian, when things aren't really going exactly your way during the day? Or you wake up that way?
You mean besides just fart?
Yeah.
I suppose one thing I've learned, I mean, I've been thinking about it a lot, because it's been like for everybody, it's been a real interesting time lately. And on one hand, I find myself, I just want a smooth week. It's not that you don't ever have challenges. There's always going to be challenges, but it's like, all right, I met that challenge. It was smooth. I'm moving on, whatever it is. I listened to a podcast a while ago, several years now, but I really liked what it said. And it comes from that great American philosopher, Cole Trickle, in Days of Thunder. If you remember that Tom Cruise movie.
I've never seen it.
No, it's not from Cole. It's from Robert Duvall's character. And yeah, as the movie goes, for those that haven't watched it, you should, because if you don't know great NASCAR movies, then I don't even know why we're talking. But but it's about a driver gets into a wreck, gets injured, he loses his nerve, he gets back on the track, another wreck happens, and then of course he's coming up on the wreck. So what's going to happen? And so he's told, well, just pick a line and drive through it. And that really resonated with me when I heard about it in a podcast, because that's part of it. Okay, there's just stuff going on right now. And I don't mean drive through it by not recognizing it, by not struggling, by not getting angry, frustrated, happy, sad, you name the emotion. It's just, okay, I'm just going to put my nose down, do the best that I can in that moment, whatever that is, and we can get to some of those strategies, and then eventually the moment's going to end. Honestly, it might take a year, depending on the moment. It could take a month, it could take a minute, it could take a second. It just sort of depends. So for me personally, when stuff happens, having mentors, having colleagues that I can speak with and say, I'm just going through this. So not internalizing it would probably be the first thing I don't do. So where I can talk to my wife about it, I have so many colleagues and friends. So just getting that out is huge for me, because it used to be I just kept myself on chiropractic island for a long time. And but then as I noticed, was the more I hung out with more chiropractors, guess what? Their challenges are no different than mine. Some days we have more, some days we have less, just depending on where we are. And so it's picking a line and driving through it. What's also really helped me is celebrating other people's wins. I mean, I love winning myself. That's tremendous. To quote Bull Durham, winning is better than losing.
I said that to somebody the other day. I'm like, if you're not first, you're last, because they got second place.
Yeah. So, but I think it's when the folks that are around me, when they're winning, that energy then feeds into me, and then eventually my wins come. And then it's nice having that group that I've rooted for. Guess what they're going to do? They're going to turn around and root and celebrate with you. And at the same time, if you do find yourself in a tough situation, they're going to climb down in the hole with you and sit there with you a little bit and help you get out of it. So probably relying on my relationships externally puts me more at peace internally.
Yeah, I think to me, following the three principles of mind, thought, consciousness as it relates to our thinking and our feelings is really and truly our philosophy, right? Like our philosophy says, like, it's not symptoms. It's not that symptoms are bad. Like symptoms are warning signs. Symptoms are evidence of the amazing wisdom that exists within your mind to animate your entire being. And so I feel like we're only supposed to experience certain feelings or certain thinking. And I just invite all of you, when it comes, like, leave out the commas. So we talk in the boot camp about, like, period, like, I'm angry, period. Like, just stop there. It doesn't have to be like this run-on sentence, I'm angry and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, or just like, I'm sad or I'm happy or I'm whatever. Just like, stop and experience it just like the human body. Like, let's just deal with the cause. Let's just look at it. Let's see what your body's doing. Let's like, obviously locate, analyze, and adjust vertebral subluxation. And it's the same with our thinking. Like, I don't think that we have to be run around like by our feelings, because our feelings, they're just the odor. I don't know. Maybe some people think their farts smell pretty good. My husband seems to think I like when he farts under the covers, and just like, word to the wise, no woman likes that. If you're a husband that does that.
I'm taking notes. That's true. Really. You're
welcome, John.
Your husband sounds like a brilliant man, but I was way off.
Yeah, no hot boxing. But just to lean in and feel them. And yeah. I think when we are in practice, it is important to, like, have our composure, because our practice members are there for their own needs and whatnot. But I still think that they love seeing all of us as human. They love seeing the authenticity. I posted a picture in the boot camp that wasn't so pretty about an hour ago. I'm like, this is just life. Like, stuff happens. Life happens. And for anyone who's watching this now or watches it later, and it's so easy to get caught up in this social media comparison game, right? Like, oh my gosh, that person's life is always just so glorious. Well, only because they're not showing you like the real stuff, right? They're showing you the highlights. And so I just invite everyone, like, just lean in and feel. And when you're done feeling, like, don't make anything more of it. Just, like, change your clothes, move on.
I mean, I wonder, it seems like, in a general sense, we weren't allowed to explore our feelings back when we were kids. So we lose this opportunity to learn how to do it. And then, you know what, adulting, there's no doubt about it, it's hard. And so my daughter's had some interesting situations. A lot of them good, but she's been under a lot of stress that she just never had to have been under, because she's now doing adult things. And you're like, yeah, it was kind of nice when it really was. And I said, yeah, well, now we can walk through that stuff. And I think what I've learned over the years is that if I do have a feeling that we might term as an unpleasant one, or maybe even a negative feeling, that doesn't make me a bad person to have that feeling. And so as you said, just feel it. And what I catch myself is, all right, I'm in this situation and I'm feeling it. And I ask myself, why am I feeling that way? And usually the solution to my situation might come through that thought process to say, all right, I'm feeling this way because of this. I have an understanding of why I'm dealing with what I'm dealing. And I'll just let the process work itself out at that point. So it's when everybody's favorite principle 6 kicks in. And sometimes I get over it in a minute. Sometimes it might be a little bit. Sometimes I just have to wait if there's external things that are part of that resolution. They just have to run the course, even if it's a year. But in the moment, if I can say, all right, in this moment, I'm doing the best that I possibly can at this, right now, then I give myself the grace to have that if it's not my own personal best in the moment.
Yeah, in my experience, why is a terrible question. Like, I find it just like leads you around versus just going, okay, like,
right.
I'm just feeling this. And then, and I find like asking myself, what am I pretending not to know? Like, what am I pretending not to know right now? And in practice, obviously, it's really easy to also feel like, uh-oh, what's somebody else thinking? Oh, they had a terrible adjustment. Now what's going to happen? They're going to go tell everybody. And we're pretending not to know, or we're pretending that we're acting as if we don't know, that we can't control how anyone else thinks. And because we can't control how they think, we definitely have no control over their feelings. And that doesn't mean that we run around and intentionally tick people off by any stretch of the imagination. But it does also honor that care don't carry. Like, care deeply for people, but like, they're going to think whatever they're thinking based on what's in their brain. And a lot of people just live out through their brain instead of out through their mind, where innate intelligence resides, and original thought and fresh thinking and new ideas and wisdom and insight. And it's just such a wonderful place to reside in that place of, in my opinion, of knowing versus being like, ah, crazy. Because I used to be actually really good at that, like, freak out thing.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's one of the humans I'm happy. One of those things I'm happy to ditch. So all right, let's end it with this Brian Dooley question that many of us don't know about Brian Dooley. What sport and what position did you excel at before the age of 12?
What grade are you in when you're 12?
I think you're 9 and 4th grade.
Probably by 12. Strangely, I started playing soccer, but I started playing football in 4th grade. I played it through high school. I didn't play in college because they wanted you to be big, strong, maybe fast, athletic. They were looking for athletic. So yeah, people look at me now. I saw my high school football coach a couple of years ago at vacation. We went up to New Jersey. He's like, "What happened?" I don't know. Because I could never gain weight when I was in high school, and obviously I was doing it. But probably playing football, and I played. I played offensive and defensive line. So what was I good at? Running around and hitting people. I mean, there
you go. Yeah. And what a great sport for a young man.
It was a lot of fun. I mean, I loved it. I think I got the most out of it. I mean, when I was in high school, and you're talking, I graduated in 1990. I finished at about 185 pounds. So I was heavier than, I'm 245 right now. So imagine that. So I was heavier than our quarterback, and I'm blocking for him. So it's like, good luck back there, buddy. But and athletically, I could hold my own. I just was never going to play football beyond college, and so that was it. It would have football. I was better. I mean, I was I was back then I was not a great baseball player, and this was kind of an interesting thing. I like baseball. I was a catcher, and then we did tryouts. So for what they called the minor leagues, and that would have been, oh gosh, probably about third or fourth grade, so about the time you're talking about. And I didn't make it, and I was like, wow, that seems kind of weird. And what one of the dads said, yeah, everybody, but what one of the dads said, he goes, do this. He said, take the ball and throw it with your left hand. And so for the first, I think, 2 years that I played baseball, 2, maybe even 3 years, and I was a catcher, I was throwing it with my right hand. I write right-handed, and if you watch me eat, I'll eat right-handed. If it's ribs, I'm going to eat both-handed. I'm amphibious as far as that's concerned. But but throwing, I am a left-handed thrower, and so I as I'm sitting here telling this story, I was conforming to what people thought I should do. So maybe people, you talk about how do we handle things and all this type of stuff. You do what's the best for you that represents you. Because for 2 years you think that stunted my athletic ability, throwing balls, but because it just was there it goes over to the right instead of straight.
Oops.
But so I would love to tell you I was a great baseball player, but I wasn't. I was throwing crooked all the time because I was using the wrong freaking hand for 2 years. So probably football and running into people. And that's what we do as chiropractors. We run into the subluxation. We clear the path so that they can get the touchdown.
There you go. Bada boom, bada bing. Hey, Dr. Brian, I got to head out on a hike. So to all of you, peace. Have an awesome evening. And thanks for making this happen despite our technical difficulties upon the initiation of this Facebook Live.
Share it everywhere, and you'll have a fine, very green screen.
Thanks.
It's like plain grass.
Bye.
Enjoy your hike.
Thank you.
All right.